Hi everyone, today I thought I'd share a little bit of what we do in our deep stretch Pilates classes. These classes, which typically use the reformer, some of the mat work, foam rollers and things that we have in the studio, it can be done at home as well. They're based on something called the contract and release model, which is that you aim to stretch in a normal range of getting a 5 on a 1 to 10 scale. Then we're going to contract that muscle, which helps you bypass the complex process in your brain that says, no, I can't go very far, and allows you to bypass that, and then you stretch up to 15% more, research shows. So here's how it looks. I'll share a couple of exercises. One area where people are really very tight is in the piriformis, which is a muscle that's at the back of the hip here, and for some people it compresses on your sciatic nerve. So we'll do a modified pigeon pose. You'll just cross one leg over the other. And what we'll do is see if you can feel a stretch. Most people are going to feel that right away. You may not even be able to get your knee in line. You're going to then press down with that top foot itself, press into the bottom foot, and you should feel that contraction running down the side of your hip. Now relax the contraction, take an inhale, and then see if you can lengthen up out of your low waist and then come forward until you can get a little deeper stretch, but not something that's painful. You want something that you can tolerate and hold for about 15 or 20 breaths. And the reason that you hold that lengthened time is that it does, again, bypass what you call the Golgi tendon organ, which is the response in the brain that sends it up immediately and says, I can't go any further. And trying to just feel a sense that you're not really forcing a stretch, but you're allowing it to happen a little bit deeper. If you want to go into a little bit more of the outer hip area here, then you come up and take about a 10% rotation with your belly button going towards your knee. And then from there, when the rotation is small, then you're going to go forward. And if you had some kind of an apparatus here where you could grab hold and then reach back here, you're going to kind of gently twist into that leg. And that will help you really light up that hip. It's a little bit better if you could be on something that was flatter where I could put my hand out here. But since I got a chair, that's what I'm going to work with. And boy, do I feel that one really in that side of the hip. Same thing on the other side. Again, the setup here, and I won't go as long on this one, but you would just set it up until you can come forward and feel a 5 on a level of pain or discomfort. Pain is not really the right word, but discomfort. And then back that off, take a breath, press in, contract that muscle, and then you'll relax the contraction, and then you'll come forward again till you can get in that 5 range, no more than 7 for sure. And then that secondary one is to gently rotate toward the bent leg. And here I'm trying to get just a kind of a pull-push idea here as I'm going in there, and that really lights up that side of the hip quite well. Another area where people are really tight, especially while they're on the computer a lot, is in the wrist. So we can take ourselves down, and if you had a mat, that would be even better, and work on the wrist extensors. So we're going to turn the palms to face inward, and then press down on all to the fingers so you can really work into that wrist area. Now for a lot of people, this will be plenty. You won't need to go any further than this. But if you, after the contraction, are able to draw away from it, pressing down a little bit into the hands and stretch into those wrists, you'll feel a pretty amazing stretch here. Sometimes you could press independently into each of the fingers and just notice if one of those is more challenged than the other. And that's an area where you should stay and work a little bit deeper. Okay, you could go into the the wrist flexors here too. You can see that I can barely get mine down in this position. And so for a lot of people, just actually bringing your hands in this position is going to be about as much as you could do. But we work toward it. Another area where people are super tight is in their inner thighs, their adductors. So we do a frog position. And this looks different on each piece of equipment because on some of the machines we can actually get there a little bit easier than you can see I am right here. But what I'm going to try to do is go again out as far as I can. I'm lining up my ankles with my knees. And then I'm going to kind of set into that. To contract, I'll press down into both legs just to feel how that wakes up the inner thighs here, the pectineus, sartorius, a lot of muscles of the inner thigh. And then to see if I could go back a little bit toward my heels, or I could draw my knees just a slightly bit wider and see if I can get a little bit more traction there. Again, if you can hold it for 15 or 20 breaths, you're going to get the most benefit, but that's something that you can also build over time. I mean, just the stamina comes in stretching as it does with any kind of exercise. As you come out of this, you would go forward, kind of release the hips, and then draw that back in. I really encourage you to try one of our deep stretch classes. We have 3 remotely through the week now while the studio is closed. So try one of those out. It doesn't take any experience and it really benefits your body. Thanks so much.